This begins week 6 how-to video. We have a net shown at the right, and a net is a flat cutout that you can fold to create a three-dimensional polyhedron. So if you were to fold this together after you were to cut it out, you notice that you have a square, which will give you a square base, and all the sides are triangles. So this is the shape that it would fold into. And the name of this shape is, you would define the base or describe the base, so square. And since the top goes to a point and the sides are triangles, this is a square pyramid. Which equation is equivalent to y equals negative 4/5 x plus 1? Notice that all of these options have x and y on the same side and no fractions. So what they did is they put this equation right here into standard form. And to do that, we're going to first of all get rid of fractions. So 5 is the only denominator in this problem, so we're going to multiply everything times 5. And what happens is, you get 5y, you get negative 20 over 5, which reduces to negative 4. In other words, the 5 cancels out, which is our point and purpose. Then 5 times the 1 gives you plus 5. We need to put the x and y on the same side, so I need to add 4x. We need to write the x term first. And the one that best fits this would be b. So putting it in standard form. Which expression represents the square of this? Well, we have 9x squared, y to the 4th, and we are going to square the whole thing. This is a distribution of powers. Sorry about that. Bad time to record. And we are going to distribute the power to each one. Well, we get 9 squared. We get x squared to the second power, and a power raised to a power is multiplied. So 2 times 2 gives us 4. And y has a power of 4 raised to the second power, so 4 times 2 and gives you 8. Now 9 squared is 81. So this is officially our final answer. H. Notice that g has y to the 6th, because some might think, oh, I need to add the exponents and go 4 plus 2 and get 6, but we would multiply when we have a power raised to another power. Marcia conducted a poll of registered voters in Minnesota to try and determine who might win the next gubernatorial election. She found that 57% of the voters favor candidate A, with a margin of error of plus or minus 3%, which means this could be as low as 54% or as high as 60%. That's what margin of error means. And a 95% confidence level. Now, it's a statistical statement that you are not familiar with, but I'll explain it in a moment. Which of these statements is true? Marcia contacted a random sample of 95% of the registered voters. That's not what confidence level means. Only 95% of the voters Marcia contacted responded to her question. Not true either. The probability that between 54 and 60%, notice that that is what we wrote here, that's the margin of error, of the registered voters in Minnesota favor candidate A. 95% probability. That is correct. So C is right. Number 5, the winner of a television game show chooses one of 10 envelopes containing cash prizes. The number of envelopes containing each cash amount is shown in the table. What is the expected value of the cash prize? Now, expected value means we're going to take the probability of winning times the dollar amount. So there are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards, or 10 envelopes. We have 4 out of 10 will win the 1,000. Then we're going to add on 3 out of 10 times 5,000, and then 2 out of 10. Then the probability of 10,000, well, there's 2 out of 10 times its prize, and then 1 out of 10 has the grand prize. Let me find out the probability of each. Well, 4 tenths times 1,000 is 400. 3 tenths times 5,000 is 1,500. That's a 5, pardon. 2 tenths times 10,000 is 2,000. And then 1 tenth times 25,000 is 2,500. If you add those all together, you will get 6,400. Then we'd write that above. 6,400. 6,400. And this ends the how-to video.